to come over, so I think I'm about to hit, bro. Went up to her room, she was taking off my pants, but then she started screaming like, where the fuck your dick go? Whoa there, fuck that, I forgot to stay strapped. She said, where your pee-pee go? I guess that I misplaced that. This shit don't make any sense at all. I was feeling so confused until I suddenly got a call.
Okay, there we go. I had to make sure it was corny. Hey guys, this is your What If here, and this is your 19 sub special. I thought it was about time I did it, and I got my homie over here. He gonna help me out since he doesn't stutter as much as I do. So this is What If Deku Was an Assassin, Part 1, 19 sub special. So what's up? As I was saying, if you hear a little voice every once in a while talking to me, you just know that's the person that's helping me out. And let's get into this. So this is What If Deku Was an Assassin, Part 1. So first we're gonna start off with a very young Deku. A young Deku. Yeah, a young one. And this is how it's gonna go. Shut the fuck up. So this is how it's gonna go. So it's gonna be rough for Deku. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be real rough, cause in this one Deku doesn't have a quirk. He has no type of quirk. So we think. And so do the doctors. He may not have a quirk, but he has power. And his power, you know what? I'll save his power for. If you didn't get what his power is by now, you won't know until it comes around. Shut the fuck up. So his power. Let me get off his power. So this time in this one, Hisashi is gonna be mad. Like Inko has like a dark green hair, so Deku ends up having black hair in this one. Black hair and blue eyes. Yeah, the blue eyes is from his father. The black just came from the darker side of Inko's green. So that's how it is. That's how it's gonna be. And so, my bad, if you felt that drop, then you felt that drop. But like I was saying, Hisashi doesn't think that's his child since basically. Shut up, nigga. So back where I was, yeah, it's gonna be Hisashi doesn't think Deku's his son since different genetics, I guess. Like I don't know how to explain it. How about his genetics are more on his mom's side of the family. Cause we're gonna say Inko's mom had black hair. So yeah, that makes sense of any sorts. Which it probably does, but I'm just not thinking straight right now. Cause somebody won't shut up so I can keep going with the video. But you know, it is what it is. And so Hisashi leaves. Izuku instead. So Hisashi leaves Izuku and everybody and Inko cause he said, "That's not my son. How dare you cheat on me, Inko? How dare you?" And I'm not cheating on you. I'm not at all. Sorry if my voice for Inko is trash.
I'm not cheating on you. Not at all.
And he's like, "You are cheating on me. You are. How could you? My son should have green hair like me." Yeah, because in this one, Hisashi's hair is a light green. I don't know what his real hair color is, but I'm going to say it's a light green. So he's like, "That's not my son. You cheated on me. I'm gone. I'm out." And he slams the nurse hospital door and he walks out. And that's what goes on. You mentally retarded or something. They can hear you, nigga. Hell yeah. Okay, so this is a no mess up. If I mess up or if I say something random throughout the video, just know I'm talking to the idiot who wants to, do something stupid. So yeah, this is a no mess up. So if I mess up, I might try to edit it out. I'm not too sure. But yeah, let's keep going. So Hisashi slams the door. So Hisashi slams Hisashi slams the door. He walks out, and he leaves Inko in him. And we're gonna do a 3-year time skip. Deku is now 3 years old. Now, Inko's having a not having the best, not been having the best of days since Hisashi left. Inko been she didn't know it, but she's been neglecting. She's kind of been neglecting Izuku. She didn't mean to, but she'll feed him. She'll wash him. She'll clean him. But she won't give him the attention a child needs. Basically, she won't give him the child needed attention like she deserves. Like she needs. Like he needs. I'm sorry. He needs. So he kind of grows up like that, and he stays to himself. He doesn't really go and talk to nobody until he turns 4 the next year. And he got... Shut up. Until he turns 4, and he kind of, just goes to the quirk doctor. He doesn't have a quirk because he got the extra joint. They only took an X-ray scan. They didn't decide to do nothing else but an X-ray scan, and that's all they said. And I'm like, and they like, okay. And then she let the news. She didn't care. She didn't care how that was affect them, but she like, okay. I was watching you do it. I was watching you while you was doing it. So he's been busy. He's been busy. He's been busy. Now we're gonna skip to Hisashi's point of view. When he walked out, that's not my damn son. I have no feeling for that kid. Now we're back to Deku's point of view, and he's like, okay, I'm quirkless. I can't be a hero. Okay, cool then. Okay, so he keeps to himself, and nobody messes and everybody teases him, be mean to him, and Bakugo kind of bully him, but it starts off lightly. We time skip to middle school, 2nd year. They're in 7th grade, and Bakugo has been throwing explosions, and I'm not talking about that weak little explosion. I'm talking about the big type of explosions, like the one he be throwing, like the ones, like you know what, like the one he throws like the one he throws when he blew up Deku's bookend cannon. Yeah, that type of explosion. And he like, ha, you worthless nerd, you're a Deku, and just stuff like that, just bringing him down, trying to tell him he can't be a hero or any sorts, and stuff like that. And he's like, how about you go take a swan dive off the roof? And at this point, Deku's honestly thinking about it. He's honestly thinking about it. And then and then school ends. We don't skip it to the end of the year where he does the exact same thing. And then sludge villain thing. And the sludge villain gets all in his lungs and stuff. Try to kill him. And then here's when it activates. A sword appears. He grabs the sword. And immense wind pressure just off of him. And that's kind of how he got rid of the sludge villain. But then, right before it gets completely off of him, All Might just comes out of nowhere with a punch with immense air pressure. Thank you. And it's basically that's how the air pressure went. And now this is when Deku asks the question, even without a quirk, even with this quirk, even with this ability I have, is it possible that if I train hard enough, I can become a hero? And All Might's like, what ability? And he tried showing it off, but it wouldn't work. Well, it worked. Like, he summoned the sword, and that's the only thing that happened. And yeah, he's like, with the sword. Give me a minute, people. And he's like, with that sword of yours, I think that's a pretty good ability. And he says, I don't know about becoming a hero, but certainly somebody, maybe a police officer or something. And this is when he's like, I can't become a hero. All Might himself even said it. And then he walks off the roof and everything. And now he goes to the second version of the sludge villain attack when Bakugo gets attacked. He looks at Deku. He reaches his hand out, and Deku, without even thinking about it, he just turned his head like he didn't know him. And then he felt guilty. So right before he can even take a step, he turned around, bursting with a burst of speed, summoned his sword, grabbed Bakugo's hand, pulled him out of the sludge villain, and an immense air pressure with fire behind it this time. Just with that slash, yeah, that's basically what it sounded like. I don't got no special effects, but yeah, that's basically what will happen. Now, then then Bakugo's all like, "You shitty nerd, I didn't need your help." And then Deku just punches him hard as a mug in the gut. Helping me this time. And he's like, okay, that hurt, nigga. And he's like, okay, I thought it would hurt, nigga. Sorry for the yawn, people. Sorry for the yawn. And now All Might finds him after 1 month. All Might finds him. So there's only 9 months for them to train. So All Might is like, young hero, I may not know your name. Wait, yeah, I feel like Deku would tell him. I feel like this version of Deku would tell him his name. So yeah, young Midoriya, that brave heroism you showed, it's amazing. Would you like to take and be the next successor of One for All? And this is my way of just justifying, like, the ability, justifying some of the. No, I don't need to justify myself. This is my way. You know what? Forget it. Okay, so he says yeah, either way, and he starts sparking lightning immediately, like for no reason. He just starts sparking up lightning, and he's like, "That's a very impressive ability of yours." Sorry if y'all just heard me, but I got scared. There's a drowned in my house, but he's like, "That's a very impressive ability of yours." You broke my house, nigga. And he's like, "That's a very impressive ability of yours. Now let's train." And then they train for 1 month. Get the fuck out of my chest, nigga. I'll fucking kill you, nigga. And they replace my chest, nigga. And he was like, "That's a very." And so no, let's just give it the end of the 10 months, which is a 9-month time skip. Deku ends up wearing an outfit like this. He just likes the color black, so he ends up changing his hair and stuff. I mean, he ends up changing his clothes from like a normal everyday clothing, from everyday color for clothes like blue, red, orange, and all those to just black and red. That's why his sword handle is red, because he customized it. He customized his handle for his sword to be red. So basically, that's Deku's choice of style. And yeah, that's just Deku. Deku. So Izuku, aka Deku, if you didn't know that, you know what? I'm just gonna be quiet. Okay. So Deku ends up going. He doesn't trip, so he doesn't meet Uraraka. He sticks to himself. But you wanna know something? Ida still comes and mess with him. Ida was just being rude, nosy, annoying, however you want to put it. But Ida just, man, yada yada yada, chopping his hand and just speaking like, "You should not allowed to have that sword in school," yada yada yada. And then he touches Deku's shoulder and says, "You're not allowed to have that sword in school." Deku says, "Touch me again, and I will cut your hand off." And he gets rid of the sword. Because he was already about to get rid of the sword. It was just like, he just kept it out to see how long he would go. And then he kind of just got touched, and he don't like being touched by random people he don't know. And then he puts the sword up, and he walks in. Bakugo sees him. He's like, that quirkless nerd. He doesn't deserve to be here. And then he just goes off in his head. He doesn't say anything out loud because public, you know what I'm saying? So Deku's like, I ain't gonna make no dumb character now. Come on, that's just rude. So Deku got like, I want to say Deku's IQ was on a level of Nezu. No, it's actually higher than Nezu's. Deku's IQ is higher than Nezu's. And he goes and he's like, he aces his test. Actually, he corrects Nezu. And he finished kind of early compared to the other people. And he walks in. Time for the robots. Now the robots is a different story, different breed, different everything actually. So he ends up, you know, running and zipping out of the thing when President Mike says, "There's no countdown for a real battle. Go, 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 go!" And then boom, he passes up Ida, and he passes up everyone else as well. And he just slashes the robots. 3 pointers, 2 pointers, 1 pointers. He slashes them all up. And and now he got about 150 points. And he's like, you know what? That's enough for one day. And what he does, he just kick back, relax. And now the other people, and the other teachers like, Lady Midnight. I forgot her name, but I'm just gonna call her Midnight, so it can kind of sound better. Lady Midnight. So Lady Midnight is just watching, like, that's impressive, and he's cute. So like, yeah. And Mountain Lady is also like, you know what? That's kind of impressive. And he's cute. And then they just, for some reason, they don't even know why to each other. For some reason, they just start looking at each other like, you touch him, I kill you. And that's basically what goes on. So after a while, time for the 0 pointer. He runs and runs. He bursts in speed, and he stops the thing. Because you're gonna say he's all the way, and I'm talking about all the way far than he was originally. So farther away than he was in canon. My bad. To just save Uraraka. So he saves Uraraka, stopping the robot, and he you know Gechiko Tensho, that the move Ichigo uses. He does something like that, but only fire, and wind, and he basically just saves the rocket and destroys the robot. And that gave him, because we're gonna say his robot points. If I said it was 100 or something, I'll take that back. It's like more or less 250. Yeah, 250 robots. I think that's high enough. Yeah, 250 robot points, and rescue points. He's get about 950 rescue points. So yeah, that's how it goes. And we're gonna do when he gets the letter. There's 2 letters. Both got Izuku's name on it. And the first one is when he gets into UA. And the second one is Mountain Lady and Midnight. Lady Midnight? Yeah, Midnight sends their number for him. And he's like, who's Lady? Oh, that hero Lady Midnight. Oh, Mountain Lady. Yeah, and Mountain Lady. Because we're going to say he's just interested in quirks, not the people themselves. Like, he's interested in quirks, their weaknesses, their strengths. That's kind of what he's interested in, too. So he doesn't really pay attention to names. So, unless you got an interesting quirk, one that he never saw before, he doesn't really talk to you that much. And he rarely will talk to you. Unless you come up to him and just want to talk. Then he'll talk to you. But other than that, not really. And now, okay, so He's like, okay. So he calls the numbers, and they're like, hey, do you want? And they just like, they just basically wanted to see what he acts like. They wanted a little meeting with him to see what he acts like and everything. And we're gonna say in this one, he becomes a model. Like he becomes like a modeler, like people that pose and get pictures taken of him. Yeah. And he says like, and he's like, I'm not really into that stuff, and like, there's no real reason for me to do it. And they're like, it pays good money. You can pay for, you know, it just pays good money. And he's like, I guess. So he just accepts it, and that's what goes on. So yeah. And now we skip to when now Deku got a modeling career. By the time he gets to school, he's already famous just cause his looks. Cause we're gonna say is Hisashi was American. Yeah, we're gonna say he was American from like America. I don't know. Y'all can imagine where he's at from or whatever. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, he's American. Okay, okay, and basically he just like. So you got that black hair. That's the only way I can justify the black hair is American. Okay? So he's American. Shut up, nigga. I'm doing it. So he's American, right? And he's American and everything. So that's the only way I can justify the black hair. Stop. Do that to my fucking pillow again. I swear to God. And he's American. And yeah. So he got good looks. Black hair, a nice, good, decent character. In my POV. If you don't know what POV is, I might as well just explain it to you. So if I end up saying it, y'all won't be confused. Personal point of view. Okay, so now Deku's famous. Only like it's mostly ladies who buys the books that he's in, or what modeling books that he's in, or modeling books in general, from what I know. So we're just gonna say mostly females know him, and he's very famous. Now he goes to school. He goes to class 1A. Now they're like Momo, Yarozu, Toga. Well, not Toga. Froppy, whatever, Uchaku, Uraraka, and that invisible girl. I forgot her name. But all of them, so like, oh, you're the guy who's on the magazine for modeling. I still can't think of you know what? It doesn't matter. I just call him modeling, whatever. So he's like, yeah, I guess. And he just goes sit down next to a window. It's like, man, if I can only get people like this coming every day, this is gonna be a hard school to be in. And they're like, and basically, quirk test comes up. Aizawa was like, okay, go change and then yada yada. And Kirishima's like, you're ripped. You're ripped, man. What is your schedule and what's your fit? And Deku's like it's normal, basic, everyday stuff, you know. Nothing really that different. And that's when Bakugo just ends up being mean for no reason, because that's the type of person I imagine him to be, just a mean person. So he's like, yeah, that worthless nerd. And then he just shuts him up right there, because like Deku just had enough of it. And he's like, call me that again and we'll be having problems. And that's when he tried to say, that's when so that's when he says it like, and he's like, and then All Might, and I mean not All Might, not All Might at all. Aizawa was like, both of you stop it. I'm sick and tired of you already. and this is the first day. And I'm like, fuck you. And he's like, okay, whatever. It doesn't matter anyway. And he's like, oh well, it doesn't matter anyway. And he's like, it does matter. He's like, it does matter. It matters a lot, actually. And he's like, it doesn't. And then they just keep, hold up, I'll be back. Somebody wants to really annoy me. So now we do a 3-month time skip. And, between Lady Midnight and Mountain Lady and Deku, things been getting real spicy, real intense. And now, before we go into this 18X or 18 plus, however you want to say it, I'm about to tell you some of Deku's stats. He can use fire, ice, wind, lava. Basically, he can use any. He can use fire, ice, wind, lava, lightning, static, lightning. Hold up. He also got water, unlimited stamina. If I haven't said that already, he can stick to any object. He can power up like Goku. He can also transform his thing like He can switch his thing kind of up like Bankai. You see what I'm saying? And unlimited stamina, super strength, super speed, cloning. And like in a few hours his clones will disappear, but he can make unlimited clones anyway. Flying, invisibility, complete invisibility. Like you can't tell he's there. Sensory blocking. Like he can kind of block that he's there. I think that's what it's called, sensory blocking. Now, pyrokinesis, something similar to Ultra Instinct. Now don't call me a critic for this one, but he can use Bankai. Okay. I understand. He got a sword. Looking from my point of view, he's an OP person. Cause if you don't know, he's from this real old anime, kind of sorta. So like, if you like, I forgot the anime name, so I'm not just gonna tell you. But it was an assassin something. But I don't know, I forgot. So like, yeah. so yeah, Bankai. He can also go hollow. If he goes hollow mode, he fully loses it. He goes crazy. He can't control anything that goes on anymore. Once he goes hollow mode, he lost control. There is no more control. He basically goes nuts, crazy. His skin turns pitch black. His hair turns pitch white, and his eyes are a blazing red. That's how it works, and that's how it is. So after he goes hollow mode, he also got this other power. It's called Carnation's Immortality. Now it sounds what it sounds like. So he got God Angel healing, which means he can heal better than Bond, from Bond the Undead, and he can also heal people better than Elizabeth. And yeah, that's kind of how it is. No, not yet. You gonna have to throw him in a portal? Fine. Oh yeah, he also got teleportation, portals, so he can teleport other people. Wait, nah, he don't need portals. He can, since he got teleportation, that kind of does go with teleporting other people with you. So he can teleport other people with him if he wants to or not. And yeah, he can do a lot of stuff. So now I'm gonna hand it off. So now we're gonna hand it to my friend to do the 18 plus with Lady Midnight and Mountain Lady. So Deku, poor Deku, poor him. Cause he's an 18-inch. 18. He's a 18-inch. He's an 18-incher. So, yeah. And I'm about to pass it on to my dude, the one who's gonna do the 18 plus part since he doesn't stutter as much. Okay, so remember, so let's get. Nah, I'm just playing. So yeah.
Okay, guys.
Shit. There we go. Go ahead, keep continuing.
Okay, guys.
Go ahead.
Okay, guys. So, later on in the day, Lady Midnight and Mount Lady was planning something to get Goku vitamins. I mean Deku vitamins.
You're doing too many Goku with us, man. Got rusty with the Deku.
Yeah, Deku vitamins. And so, Lady Midnight. So this happened 1 week later. Lady Midnight called Deku over. And Deku, you know Deku the OG, as he is. He went over there dressed in all drip. Got that Gucci chain and them Gucci clothes. But it's black though. And Lady Midnight starts scratching her clothes and put some gas. And so Deku fell on the ground and Mount Lady came up, and then as soon as he woke up, you wanna know what happened?
You can't start an 18 part like that. I'm about to edit this out.
Man, Deku
Got
man, Deku's getting that wop. Or should I say wops? And then Deku said, you know what? Since they got two of you, I'm gonna do clone.
cloning. Now Deku does. Now, sorry. So Deku, after getting that 9,000, he clones himself so he can handle getting 2 in 1. So we switched to Deku's POV, personal point of view. Keep that in mind. So we switched to his POV, and he's like, "Oh, these girls know how to hit it. Yeah, right there." This is my first ever 18 plus. I'm too hyped for it. Cut your phone off, nigga. So he's over there. He's bonding them titties, man. He's over there using his quirk, going fast as motherfucker. Like, yeah. So basically, he's just going fast, All in general, he's going fast. And so he's all up in their pussy. And they like, oh, yes, Deku. Yes, yeah. And so they start getting wet. I'm talking wetter than a slip and slide. And he's like, and he's just over here coming. But, he's dumb nuts. And unlike normal people, he can control if he wants them pregnant, which he doesn't. He ain't getting caught lacking. So he never worried about it. And he's like, oh no, you can't, sis. I'm sorry. And they're like, oh no, you came in us. And he's like, don't worry about it at all. You won't be getting pregnant anyway. And they're like, what you talking about? And I'm like, he doesn't worry about it. And they just forget about it. They like, oh, it's probably part of his quirk. He doesn't let girls get pregnant. So no, they ain't gonna do it. I ain't doing that to my homie. So now this is when he starts slapping, and he just like keep going, bro. He keep going, and they just like, and Mountain Lady couldn't handle it. That 18-inch got a little too big for her, so she grew a little bit, and she like, and Deku's just over here having fun, more fun than he had earlier, and he just like, yeah, ride that horse, bitch. And he just keeps going. And he done that sauce again. But this time it was an hour. It took 1 extra hour. So later, 12 in the middle of the night, midnight just like
They still going.
they still going, and midnight's like I'm sorry, that was it. Just and now, it's just now we just switch to a view of the room. You see come on the rooftops, you see it on the floor, you see it on the walls and everything. And you see it on the walls and everything, right? So he's like, okay, that's cool and everything, but I'm not cleaning this shit up. So he finishes it up, he wraps it up, he starts walking back to his house. And then he's like, wait, I don't have no reason for walking. I can teleport. So what he does, he teleports to his house. Now he goes inside. He teleports in his room, of all places. And we're just gonna say Momo Yarozu was there, and she's like, hey, your mom said I could come in and invite you to your room. Because we're gonna say he's shirtless. He's just shirtless. He got pants and clothes on, but he's still got a bolt in his pants. And they should like, oh, I didn't want to. And that's basically what she's speaking like right now.
And so, Momo was trying to get that 18-inch pounder. And so, you wanna know what happened? Deku just did a smirk, and they just started going at it.
I got you, Momo. Yeah.
And Momo, she created all kind of toys, if y'all know what I mean.
She created that rubber.
She created rubber. She created everything. Everything that y'all can ever think of would happen in that room. Man, and then whenever they got done, you already know what happened. They had come on the walls, come right there, come everywhere.
Nah. And he's like, oh, Momo, you're better than the other two. And she's like, what do you mean the other two? He's like, don't worry about it. And he just goes faster, and she's like, ah. And he's like, yeah. Clap your hands. He's like, yeah. Faster, nigga. And he's like, yeah. So he's like, yeah, that's good, Momo, like that. And so he gets a little vibration machine, which he really doesn't need. But he vibrates the vibrating machine, and then he cuts the vibrating machine on, and he sticks it. Take it from here.
And he sticks it in, and her
like,
whole body just started vibrating.
That's kind of how it
She
sounds.
said, "No, please stop." And Deku
He just keeps on going.
And he just kept on going and going and going. Then he fucked the asshole, and then
He just goes like a chainsaw.
yep. And he said, "Now,
Not
never
only
gonna speak of this
never
ever in my life
until
I'm old and dead."
And Momo just laughs in a joking manner, and she's like, okay. So she cleans up, she takes a shower. Like, we're just gonna say for a plot armor for Deku, so he doesn't get his ass whooped by his mom. Momo took her clothes off so she didn't walk out with any on her clothes or anything. And Deku cleans his room up after a good day. Just literally. And she's like, you know what? It's time for me to take my shower anyway. So he takes his shower. He cleans his sheets. No, not at all. Fuck that. No. Tomorrow. And he's like, okay, that was good. That was a good session. That was a good rep. And he's like, you know what? Let me see if that invisible girl wants some. Because we're going to say another one of his abilities. He can see invisible girl. He can see invisible stuff. So, obviously, he can see invisible girl. I got to learn these characters' names by this point. So he's like, hey, invisible girl. She's like, what do you want? And he's like, hey, you remember that time you said if I ever wanted some, I can get some? She's like, yeah, whatever. What about it? He's like, Yeah, just wondering if he was serious about that. She's like, yeah, I was serious about that. You can come over here and get some right now. He's like, really? Tomorrow. And, okay, guys, that's where I'm leaving this off. And part 2 is going to probably be out tomorrow. I don't know. It's probably going to be out tomorrow. You know, have a good old fun, good old chat. And part 2 is going to be out tomorrow.
Okay, like bad little shawty trying to call me on my flip phone. Told me to come over, so I think I'm about to hit, bro. Went up to her room, she was taking off my pants, but then she started screaming like, where the fuck your dick go? Whoa there, fuck that, I forgot to stay strapped. She said, where your pee go? I guess that I misplaced that. This shit don't make any sense at all. I was feeling so confused until I suddenly got a call.
Hey, sorry bro, I had to borrow it, cause my girl, my dick, she swallowed it. It's kinda hard to piss with a larger dick, with that bulge in my pants, it's hard to miss. But one night I took it off and I swear to God I can't find it. When I put it down to my side, bitches, I didn't think she would mind it.